So this is going to be something about us finding a location, which I should have mentioned earlier, and I skipped it, but better late than sorry. So I'm going to tell you how we came up with our physical location. What was the final decision about it? It wasn't even much so business related. It was much so Syokimau related. And do not take this as me attacking people in Syokimau. This is me just sharing my experience. So we were planning initially to set up our stall outside along Beijing Road. But then there was a lot of, politics around it. Small businesses were not allowed to set up because of, competition towards businesses inside estates. And we were planning to set up where the person was initially, who was selling viazi karai, because he was already known, so we wouldn't have to struggle with trying to get us people to sell to. So we excuse me. So due to the politics, we started looking for another location. We really worked, you guys. I'm telling you, that the physical location part was where I think I was involved. Maybe towards 60% of setting up. So I tried to look for a place to store the items. We were being charged too much, and since we were not sure of the returns, we couldn't just commit to someone. Pay them certain amount of money for storage of our items, and we just needed somewhere to start where it's going to be a bit affordable. So the guy that we were to cook viazi karai with, initially we hadn't agreed to do it with him. Sorry, I'm confusing stories, guys. Let me get back on track. So the guy that we were to start with, after we failed trying to secure a location along Beijing Road and along the path that leads to Olonyori Estate, we decided to check out Katani Road. And his friends welcomed us with open arms, and I'm going to talk about them in another video. They agreed to store things for us for free. I'm going to share videos of where we used to store our items, and we also got a space outside the building where we would pay a certain amount at the end of the month. And that's how we got our physical location. It was more out of desperation and not out of market research, where we were like, this is going to sell so well. No, where we knew it will sell so well, we were rejected. So our main idea was, let's find a location, set up, we start the business, and then as I continue doing the cooking and selling, my sister will try and look for another location, which eventually we settled in the location along Katani Road. I think mostly because the first week had pumped us up and made us think that, it wasn't so bad. But that's how we came to our physical location. And, sometimes we set up our businesses, we've looked at the location, we've seen population, but, we never really know how the population is going to respond to our business. So no matter where you find and where you feel is suitable, at the time, I will tell you to start, because even if you have all the insights, you just never know how people, especially with food, because there's so many food outlets out there. People might have a liking to a particular restaurant. Everyone has their tastes, so you just have to try and do your best and hope that the world also reciprocates your efforts.